Before he became one of the greatest apostles in history, Paul was known by a different name, Saul of Tarsus, a man feared by Christians everywhere. But how did this persecutor of the church transform into one of its most powerful voices? In this video, we'll uncover the dramatic life of the Apostle Paul, from his days of rebellion against Christ to his ultimate sacrifice for the faith. Let's start in Tarsus, a bustling city known for its schools and learning. Born into a devout Jewish family, Saul was a man of privilege. He held Roman citizenship, a rare and prized status, and was highly educated in the traditions of Judaism under the famous Rabbi Gamaliel. Saul wasn't just any student of the law, he was zealous, eager to crush anything that threatened the purity of Judaism. And when the teachings of Jesus began spreading, Saul made it his mission to stamp them out. As the early church grew, Saul's hatred grew even stronger. He became infamous for hunting down Christians, throwing them in prison, and even endorsing their executions. His defining moment as a persecutor, the stoning of Stephen. Saul stood by, approving the brutal execution of the first Christian martyr, setting the stage for his relentless crusade against the followers of the Way. But little did Saul know, he was on a collision course with the very Christ he despised. And then it happened. On a road to Damascus, where Saul was headed to arrest more Christians, a blinding light stopped him in his tracks. He fell to the ground and heard a voice. "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" It was Jesus. This moment changed everything. Saul, blind and shaken, was led into the city where 3 days later, he regained his sight through the prayers of a Christian named Ananias. More importantly, Saul regained something even greater, faith in the one he once hated. Now a believer, Saul took a new name, Paul, and began preaching the gospel he once fought against. But his conversion wasn't met with open arms. Christians were suspicious, and the Jewish leaders were enraged. Paul's life was in constant danger, yet he pressed on. He spent years traveling from city to city, preaching in synagogues, debating with philosophers, and performing miracles. Wherever he went, churches sprang up, but so did enemies. Paul's missionary journeys took him across the Roman Empire, into Asia Minor, Greece, and beyond. His letters to these churches, like Romans, Corinthians, and Ephesians, would become foundational to Christian doctrine. Yet with every sermon, every miracle, came more opposition. Paul was beaten, jailed, and even stoned. But his faith never wavered. Each time, he rose again, undeterred. After years of preaching, Paul was arrested in Jerusalem, accused of defiling the temple. He was sent to Rome, under house arrest, but still ministering through letters. These letters, known as the Prison Epistles, show a man at peace with his fate, knowing his race was almost run. After years of trials, preaching, and persecution, the Apostle Paul met his end under Emperor Nero's reign. He was beheaded for his faith. But his legacy, that lives on. From persecutor to preacher, Saul's transformation into Paul is one of the most radical stories in the Bible. A story of grace, redemption, and unwavering faith. Today, his words still inspire millions, reminding us that no one is beyond the reach of God's love. So what can we learn from Paul's life? That it's never too late to change, to stand for what's right, and to finish the race set before us. What will you do with your second chance? Thank you for watching. If Paul's story moved you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more inspiring stories, and drop a comment below with your favorite lesson from Paul's life. And remember, no matter where you start, God can use you for something greater.